Hello and welcome to TV Channel 17 Town Meeting Day right here in Burlington. And today, this is Ali's Corner, and this show is about talking about issues that are affecting people living in the great state of Vermont, and in particular, Chittenden County. Today, I have a distinguished guest to talk about safer cleaning disinfectants for new Americans and the great work that they do. We'll allow Susan to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about the great work that you do. Susan, the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, first of all. It's a pleasure to be here. So I am a lawyer by background. I seem to recall you studied law previously.
Yes.
And I have held a number of positions working in environmental and occupational health policy. I worked at the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration on safer indoor air quality for workers, safer chemicals for workers, and I've held some other positions. And then I moved into academia, and so I've done research and teaching. Again, focused largely on environmental health, so indoor air quality, safer chemicals. And I've also, as a parent, I've had my own, I guess, education related to some safer cleaning and disinfecting issues with my own children, with their schools, with our community. And so, this is an issue I've gotten very familiar with over the last few years, and I've been really fortunate that in the past year I've begun to work on this project that we're here to talk about.
Excellent, excellent. And you're well educated, and you're already doing great work about this specific subject, about air quality, about safer cleaning disinfectant. But currently, what organization do you work for or you consult with? And what's your title?
Thanks. Yeah. So right now I'm a project manager with an organization called Informed Green Solutions. It is a Vermont-based nonprofit organization, and it has a pretty interesting history, I think, and I'm very fortunate to work with the great people there. And those people are Carol Westinghouse, who's the president of Informed Green Solutions and founded it, and then Sharon Fagard as well. So Carol started Informed Green Solutions about 20 years ago. So she was asked by a nonprofit organization in New York City to develop an outreach plan related to greener cleaning for a project that this New York City organization was working on. So she did that. About 5 years later, she actually took over that organization, and so she moved it to Vermont, and so it's now Vermont-based. So she did outreach and education and technical assistance on safer cleaning and disinfecting to hundreds of schools, businesses, including hospitals. As you can imagine, this is a very important issue in hospitals because hospitals are full of germs that are very concerning. They are constantly cleaning and disinfecting there. They have vulnerable populations there, so the staff people who do the cleaning and disinfecting, who are around these products for their entire shifts. There are babies, there are people who are ill, who are more vulnerable. So that's just part of the work she's done, but a lot of her work has been focused on schools. So in 2012, so this is kind of an important point. In 2012, Vermont passed a law mandating the use of safer cleaners in schools. So this was a whole new chapter for Carol and Informed Green Solutions. She partnered up with the Envision program at the Vermont Department of Health. Michelle Thompson, who is an incredible person, who is part of the project we're working on now. And so she has worked with Michelle and the health department to go to schools all over the state to work with them on safer cleaning and following this new state law. Carol then got involved in extending this work to childcare settings, or we call them, ECEs, early care and education. I'm just going to say child care. It's a little simpler. And child cares are not covered by the law that covers schools. However, we know that young children are very susceptible to environmental influences. They put things in their mouth. They breathe more air relative to adults. And so extending this work to childcare is very important. Carol has been doing this work again for years with child cares, and then, so that's sort of the history.
That's good. That's an important work. I mean, from New York City to Vermont, and from working with the schools to now early childhood settings, right? This is just amazing. But do you think that Vermont is doing well in terms of air quality, safer environment inside buildings, and has the pandemic changed Vermonters' way of life of, considering health indoor and outdoor?
Yeah, these are great questions. First of all, I've lived in a lot of different parts of the country, and I think Vermont is doing a fantastic job.
That's amazing.
Vermont has some of the cleanest air in the country. We're really lucky. And of course, we're having challenges just like any other part of the country. We had smoke from wildfires in Quebec a couple of summers ago.
That's right.
We're not immune, of course, but there's very clean air here. I think for a lot of reasons. We're also really lucky. We have great state agencies that do a fantastic job. In terms of impacts of the pandemic, I think that's a really interesting question. One thing is that I think it made people more aware of what we call the social determinants of health.
That's right.
So the different aspects of our surroundings and our environment that affect how healthy we are, even if we don't call them health. So it's the ability to go to a park and enjoy green space and take a walk, and be able to walk safely down the street or down the sidewalk, to have access to healthy food. And it was really clear during the pandemic that people's health status was really a really important part of what happened during COVID. And so I think we've had some good outcomes from that, like the state law that was passed that gives all school children in Vermont school meals, breakfast and lunch, free of charge. And that came from COVID. That was initiated during COVID, and it's continued. So that's something I think that has been good that came out of it.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah, and just one more thing about the pandemic is that that's when I think a lot of people in the state became aware that Vermont is now a truly multicultural state. We have immigrants, we have refugees, we're a designated refugee resettlement area, and that when the state and cities were giving health advice, they needed to do it in a lot of different languages. And so that's something we're doing now in our project. So I think that's another great realization and outcome
that's amazing.
from COVID.
And we will talk about that more as we move forward. But I just wanted also for viewers to understand that you have great, wonderful partners, including the Building Bright Futures, right? Can you name all the partners that you guys work with as part of raising awareness and supporting schools and early childhood settings?
Right. So I've only worked on this project for a year, so I can't really speak to the efforts that preceded me. But since I've started working on this project, we're working with the Vermont Language Justice Project.
That's cool.
So we've made videos with them, and they've been translated into 12 different languages.
12 different languages, different from English.
Yes,
that's
12
amazing.
in addition to English.
So
and
we don't want to miss anybody.
That's
You're
right.
so inclusive in the work that you do.
Right.
That's great.
And that's what they specialize in,
That's
and they're
right.
really incredible.
Yep.
So we've worked with a longtime partner of Informed Green Solutions, Dave Hughes from WB Mason.
Okay, which is a company.
Providing
products.
Sells a lot of products to schools and child care centers, including cleaners and disinfectants. And so he's been a partner. He understands what these issues are. He's able to recommend safer cleaners and disinfectants to us, and he's able to make them available to child carers at a discount price.
That's amazing.
So he's an important partner. I'd have to say, you as as a representative of Building Bright Futures and our link with a number of new American communities.
Yep.
You're a critically important partner.
Yep.
And then we're reaching out to other organizations all the time.
Yep.
So school districts, et cetera.
Yep. And you were telling me last time you worked with the family room at 20
Yes.
Allen Street, that program.
That's one of the programs we visited. We had a really excellent meeting with them.
Parent Child Care Center, yep. And also, I believe that Building Bright Future, as part of my work as a regional manager, we invited you to a meeting, and there were interests, right, from other people who said, okay, we need your email so that we can connect.
Right.
Right.
And so many organizations I can't even remember off the top of my head, but that was extremely fruitful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, the great things about all of this is just the outreach you've done to BBF, and BBF supporting you now to reach vulnerable communities, to also give, best practices about the videos, about, an event that is coming up very soon. Can you tell us about that event that you're doing in collaboration with BBF?
So we're really excited working with you and the other New American leaders. So we'll be holding an event this next weekend.
What are those communities that you work with?
So that is the Congolese community,
Vermont, yep.
Somalian,
The Somali Mai community of Vermont, yep.
yes,
yep,
and
yep.
Burundi.
The Burundi people, they speak Swahili, Kurundi, and French. Yes, two. Yeah. So basically 3 different communities, and you have an event coming up. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we have an event coming up, working with you and the other leaders. So we have invited families from these different communities to come, to bring home-cooked food, to have a delicious lunch. I can only imagine how amazing
3 different communities.
it's going to be.
Okay, bring their ethnic foods, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're home-cooked foods. And we will have a program to talk about our project and get them involved.
Exactly.
So we'll explain about our project. We'll do a demonstration of the safer products. We will give free samples of one particular product that we think is one of the best, most effective, and also safest products. And we would like to learn where these families send their children to childcare, so that we can then reach out to those childcare centers.
Exactly. I mean, and I think, when is it? When is the event?
On Sunday, this coming
Sunday, the 26th, in
Old
early
North
afternoon.
End.
Yep.
Old North End in the afternoon.
20 Allen Street. Yep, the event hall. Amazing. And will you show also the videos you worked with Language Justice about? Yep, for the people.
So we'll show the videos in at least those 3 languages.
Yes.
And I've already made copies of. So for this project, we've created and customized for these communities a few different publications. One is a 3-page summary of why safer cleaning and disinfecting in homes and child cares is so important, and how to choose safer products. We have a safer cleaning poster, which, it can be poster size or it can just be 1 page. And so I have made copies of those 2 documents in 3 different languages, so we'll hand those out. We'll have translation as necessary.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And I mean, I think this is such a great concept, because you don't want to miss any community. You also want, that people to gain the understanding of these products and how, the chemicals that are in it, and also the health, determinant that people can gain from using the not recommended ones, right? And now you are working with New American communities to make sure that their communities, right, understand when you go to the grocery store to buy what to use when you have kids. As you can see on the video, you see this little kid next to mommy cleaning, right? But if people don't know, how would they make sure that these kids are clean and safe and well taken care of? I am so amazed by the work that you do and the importance it has, right? And this is just amazing. I can't wait to come to that event and eat the food and talk to the people and learn myself about, what to look for when I go to the grocery store next time. This is all great, right? And where did you get the funding to do all of this?
Yeah, so great question. So this project that we're right in the middle of, it's a 2-year project, and this is funded by a grant from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
Oh, federal grant.
Federal grant.
To the state or to you directly?
To the state.
Okay.
So it's a 2-year federal grant to the state, to the Vermont Department of Health.
Yep.
And so they have the funding, and then there's a sub-award to Inform Green Solutions. And the name of the award from the EPA is it's a P2, or Pollution Prevention Grant. So the idea of pollution prevention is to prevent pollution before it starts.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of situations where there's pollution and then we have to clean it up. In this case, we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to just use safe products from the start.
Exactly. This is so great. But on top of your head, what are the elements of the grant? What things that you need to achieve? Is it just childcare only and the schools only? Are there other elements that the grant needs to accomplish?
For this, our primary focus is on childcare settings.
Exactly.
But as you've pointed out, that also means at home.
Yes.
So we want to focus on childcare, but we also want to get the message out community-wide to families, et cetera.
Exactly.
So the elements are, some of the things we've already done is to take some existing green cleaning documents, customize them for these communities, and translate them, which we've done. And we saw the website, and so the website there is where you can find all 3 documents in English and then translated into 6 languages spoken by New Americans in Vermont. We made the videos, which we talked about. Those are also posted on the website. We are aiming to visit 15 child cares, just as we did with the family room. And we're being totally flexible. It could be a little bit in person, mostly on Zoom, or mostly on the phone, or in the nap time, evening, whatever it might be, to demonstrate safer cleaning products. And in the end, we'll write up a couple of case studies about what we've learned. We're also planning to do a webinar.
That's great. This is great. And and I think your website is full of resources as well.
Right.
As the viewers can see it right here. Thank you to our technician here at CCTV Channel 17 for the great work that you do all the time. Are there anything important that you wanted to share that I forget to ask, other than come on, eat and good food and have a good time?
I just think that it's really easy to overlook that there are actually products we use in our daily lives that can be harmful. And so this is an example. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that this is something you have to think about. But I think once you make a change and you understand what to look for, it can be pretty automatic. So I've made a change at my own house with what I use to clean the bathroom, and I know it's safe, and so it's a great switch.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I am really encouraging our viewers to please check the Grain Informed Solution website and go and look at the videos that are in so many different languages, including English. And to tell you the truth, when I was watching the one in English, I noticed that even the maps that you put in front of your door, it's so important. And also there are those that are also really recommended to wash your feet before you enter the house. And it's just great, wonderful resources, right? The importance of protecting your hands. It doesn't matter what type of chemical. The importance of making sure that the kids are not exposed in this essence. Some of these products are full of
scented
products, and that we need to avoid all of it.
Yeah.
We can keep our house and homes really clean without using, products that could be detrimental to the health and well-being, especially the younger children. So also just wanted to say thank you to also the BBF regional managers, because you worked with me as Chittenden and Franklin Grand Isle, and I think this project is concentrated in Chittenden County, Burlington and Winooski, right? But also I show a lot of interest from my colleague in Central Vermont, in the Northeast Kingdom, in Southeast, and in Southwest of the Vermont. The regional managers really would want to invite you to the council to talk about this more. And I think this is a great, amazing that BBF is doing, connecting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you.
For the work that you do, as a lawyer, but now you are here supporting communities and for the well-being and safety. And we will continue to work together to reach more people. Thank you so much. So viewers, again, thank you so much for watching this show. This is Ali's Corner again. We do it once a month for 25 to 30 minutes. We bring great, wonderful things that are happening in the region and also around the state and nationally about the well-being of the people. All right? Thank you so much, CCTV Channel 17, for having us. This was Ali's Corner, and see you next month in February. Thank you.